All right, we're going to go ahead and meet our next heat. This is a combined heat. In this heat, we will see men from the 2.5 classification, as well as the 3.0 classification in lane 3. 2.5 classification from SOCOM, George Vera. And in lane 4, it's the Army's Brent Garlick. And in lanes 6, 7, and 8, men's 3.0. From the Marine Corps, Isaac Blunt. From the Air Force, Garrett Kuwata. And from the Navy, Anthony Deely. Mr. Referee. Okay, so with the scratches in men's 3.0, we have Garrett Kuwata racing for the men's 3.0 gold. But on the near side, we have Vera and Garlick competing for the men's 2.5 class. Ruwata out here from the Air Force will take the gold for the men's 3.0.
That winning time, 1:45.16 for Garrett over in lane 7.
And that's Vera from SOCOM to take the gold. And the Army's Brent Garlick will take the silver. Come on, make some noise. Come on, Brent. Come on, Brent. Garlic is in. Well done, gentlemen. All right. Stand by just for a moment as these athletes exit the water. Well done, Kawada, Garlic, and Vera. Men's 2.5 and 3.0 divisions. Up next will be the men's 4.0 medal heat, 100-meter freestyle. And let's go ahead and meet these swimmers. In lane 3 from SOCOM, Steve Carmen. Lane 4 from Australia, Rai Shawcroft. And lane 5 from the Navy, Gabriel George. Mr. Referee. And they're off. This is a medal round. We have 2 competing for the gold and the silver. Steve Carmen from SOCOM and Rai Shawcroft from Australia. And it's Shawcroft with 25 to go. And for the men's 4.0 classification, from Australia, Rai Shawcroft. From SOCOM, Steve Carmen.
So Jeff, that time, 1:23.87, unofficial, but that is lower than the Warrior Games record held by Charlie Walker in 2015 of 1:30.110. So we'll wait for those official results, but that was an outstanding swim.
Wow. Another record may be going down again here at the 2019 Warrior Games swim competition. All right. Okay, as those athletes exit the water, next heat, the men's 4.5 classification. So just a heads up, folks. So here's what's happening. Every once in a while, you'll hear me call a name for a lane, and they will not be there. That's what we call a scratch for whatever reason, usually because of fatigue. That athlete has decided to pull out of that particular event. So many of these athletes of the 2019 Warrior Games competing in multiple events throughout the 10 days of the Warrior Games, and a select few are labeled as ultimate champions, competing in 8 different events throughout the Warrior Games, many of them swimming today. So all week long, they've been involved in powerlifting. They've done archery. They've done track and field. They've done basketball, volleyball, rugby, and more, and now is swimming. That being said, let's keep it moving. Here in lane 2 for men's 4.5 from Australia, Mark Daniels. Lane 3 from Australia, Nathan Parker. Lane 4 from SOCOM, Brant Ireland. Lane 5 from the Air Force, Seth Pena. And lane 6 from the Marine Corps, Carlos Jimenez. This is a medal round, Mr. Referee. It is Australia, and the Marine Corps. Daniels, Parker, and Jimenez competing for gold, silver, and bronze in this heat as they come up to turn 1. Look at Jimenez pushing Australia's Mark Daniels. And it's Daniels from Australia, Jimenez of the Marine Corps, and Parker from Australia.
Daniel's unofficial winning time there is 1:19.67. Jimenez 1:24.50, and Parker 1:27.11.
He's got it.
All right. Now on to the men's 5.0 classification. This is a medal round, medal heat. In lane 2 from the Air Force, Byron Brightman. Lane 3 from the Army, Tim Bomke. Lane 4 from the Army, Paul Rifke. Lane 5 from the Air Force, David Snyder. And lane 6 from the UK, Joe Preston. Mr. Referee. And they're off. Three swimmers competing for the gold, silver, and the bronze. It's Brightman from the Air Force, Bomke from the Army, and Snyder from the Air Force.
Got a playlist you prefer, we'll use it.
I think he's here, so we'll have to
Do you have a regular jack on your phone, or do you have the adapter? Or
anything more upbeat? Is that what you're looking for, more upbeat?
He said he's got a device. Perfect. You're clear.
All right, we have a race here. Bomke turned first at the 50, but coming up really strong here as we get into the last 25 is Night Force. Is he gonna have enough pool to make that pass to the finish?
It's Bomke versus Snyder. Snyder from the Air Force. Bomke from the Army. And here comes Brightman from the Air Force. Lane 2, come on folks, make some noise. Let's bring him in.
Let's go, Brian, let's make him some noise. Let him hear you. He's got about 20 meters to go.
Which list? I was already there.
Brightman is in. Well done, gentlemen. All right, we are moving right along. Heat 1 of 2 for the 5.5 lower classification for the men's 100-meter freestyle. Next. Lane 1 from the Marine Corps, Dustin Kosar. Lane 2 from Australia, Brendan Hardiman. Lane 4 from Australia, Peter Brown. Lane 5 from Australia, Daniel Cochran. Lane 6 from the Army, Austin Harwick. Lane 7 from Canada, Robert Gagnon. And lane 8 from SOCOM, Clay Pendergrass. Mr. Referee. It is 1-8, Pendergrass, Kozar. How close are they, Brooke?
First and second at the wall. So we have lane 8 going first at 35.74. We got 2 outside smokes. Lane 1 over here was just at 36.0. So we've got 1 and 8 leading the way. As they pass me, still pretty close, both looking really strong. So they can hear you. Let's get them into the finish.
Let's go, let's go. Look at Pendergrass drop the hammer in lane 8. Kosar.
1:13.22, the unofficial time for Pendergrass. And 1:15.79 up in lane 1. Outside smoke in this heat 1 of 2 heats. So that 1:13.22 sets the bar for heat 2 standing behind the blocks.
And Australia's Cochrane is in. Nice job, gentlemen. Great show. We now move on to heat number 2 of this competitive 5.5 lower classification division. And let's meet our swimmers. In lane 1 from the Army, Jorge Rodriguez. Lane 2 from the Air Force, Brian Viviano. Lane 3 from Canada, Lawrence Christensen. Lane 5 from the Navy, Dakota Hollingsworth. Lane 6 from the Marine Corps, Marari Hernandez. Lane 7 from the Marine Corps, Stephen McKay. That was 6. Lane 7 from the Army, Jonathan Alexander. And lane 8 from the Army, Shannon McClymans. Mr. Referee.
I caught it, or yanked on it, because I would have just been ruined, obviously. And it probably was up there when I'm trying to tighten it all back up, because this was all loose and everything.
Video mode. Yeah, this mounts a pain in the butt. It doesn't ever really lock on.
I'm like, scared of the crap. But no, I'm good.
And they're off.
You all right?
So we've got 4 up here. Again, over in lane 8. Pendergrass must have heated that lane up with the early lead. His time to beat is 1:13.22. We're gonna have 4 hitting this first 50 pretty dead even. 36.31, 36.79, 37.95, 39.54. So again, it's really anybody's race at this point.
It's Marine Corps versus Army. McKay, the final stretch. McClymon's chasing. Look at McKay finish. Marine Corps in first. Army, McClymon's in second in this heat. Too close to call for third. 2 more still on course.
That was Steve McKay with one heck of a back half 50. 1:10.45 is the unofficial time, and that's just off what the Warrior Games record of 1:10.30, but
Wow.
back half 100 by sure.
Christensen in, Hernandez in. Well done, gentlemen. All right, on to 5.5 upper classification division. Heat number 1 in lane 2 from SOCOM, Isaiah Staley. Lane 3 from the Army, David Espinoza. Lane 4 from the Marine Corps, Matt Hargrove. Lane 5 from the UK, John Williams. And lane 6 from the Air Force, Larry Franklin. Mr. Referee. So it's 2, 3, and 4. Lanes 2, 3, and 4. SOCOM, Army, and the Marine Corps. Looks to be SOCOM out in front by just a few meters. Followed by Hargrove of the Marine Corps. SOCOM is in. Staley.
1:13:29 is his unofficial time. So that sets the bar for going into Heat 2. And if that time holds, that would put him under the Warrior Games record of 1:14:16.
Espinoza in. All right, as these swimmers exit, it is heat number 2 of the men's 5.5 upper classification. In lane 1 from the Air Force, William Royster. Lane 3 from the Navy, Austin Cooper. Lane 4 from the Navy, Todd Prather. Lane 5 from the Navy, Daniel Clark. Lane 6 from SOCOM, Philip Fong. Lane 7 from Canada, Jim Lothar. And lane 8 from the U.S. Marine Corps, Fernando Andandre. Mr. Referee. And they're off. And they are chasing a new record. If they want to get the gold, they have to break the record. Prather from the Navy at the turn.
Lane 4 looking strong here. 25 meters to go. He had a good 50 split. He's got about 13 seconds to get to the wall if he wants to chase down the time that Stanley just did in the previous heat.
Look at Prather. Will he do it?
1:12.96. That's your unofficial gold medal time with a new Warrior Games record.
Then it was Fong and Andon Clark. Great job right out here is Andandre from the Marine Corps. Andandre is in fantastic heat. So Brooke was at 2 in this class coming in, I believe, under the record set win in 2018. The record was 1:14.16. Crushed here today. Up next, the men's 6.0 class freestyle 100 meters. Heat number 1 of 3. In lane 1 from the Air Force, Ricardo Rivera. Lane 2 from the UK, Alexander Knox. Lane 3 from Australia, Trent Forbes. Lane 5 from the Navy, Joshua Cook. Lane 6 from the Marine Corps, Edward Leary. Lane 7 from Canada, Nick Kerr. Lane 8 from the Air Force, Lawrence Hufford. Mr. Referee. And the battle here in 6 and 7. Canadian Nick Kerr and the Marine Corps' Edward Leary. Leary inching forward, creating separation with 25 to go.
Does it value me going over there, or do you want me to stay here?
And it's Leary from the Marine Corps.
Get some audio shots here.
Kerr from Canada. And in lane 4, Australia's Trent Forbes. Here comes the Huff. Here comes Cook. All right, now we're moving on to heat number 2. Same classification, 6.0 for the men. In lane 1 from the Marine Corps, Patrick O'Brien. Lane 2 from the Air Force, Roger Hopkins. Lane 3 from the Navy, Romulo Erdola. Lane 4 from Australia, Benjamin Morgan. Lane 5 from Canada, Michael Briggs. Lane 6 from Canada, Daniel Danduran. Lane 7 from the Navy, Aaron White. And lane 8 from SOCOM, Joe Roberts. Quiet, please, Mr. Referee. So, lanes 1, 2, 4, and 6. O'Brien, Hopkins, Morgan, and Danduran. Oh, look at this battle right here. Come on, folks, make some noise. O'Brien and Morgan. Morgan, O'Brien, who's got it for this heat? Morgan, then it's O'Brien.
Lane 4, that's your time to beat now, 106.01 by Benjamin Morgan of Australia. Lane 1 with a great race was O'Brien, 107.05.
Canada's Danduran is in for heat number 2. Third and final heat of the men's 6.0. And just want to let everybody know, immediately following this heat, we are going to take a break. We do have a special guest right before we break, so stick around. And then later we will move on to the breaststroke competition. But first, it is heat number 3 of the 100-meter freestyle men's 6.0. Lane number 1 from SOCOM, Brian Hotchkiss. Lane number 2 from Canada, Pierre Desrosiers. Lane number 3 from the Air Force, Jason McCoy. Lane number 4 from the Navy, Daryl Schaefer. Lane number 5 from the Navy, Jason Roberts. Lane number 6 from the Army, Brandon Nielsen. In 7 from SOCOM, Nolan Ellis. And the top spot from the in lane number 8 from the Air Force, Joshua Fain. Mr. Referee. Who is that? Brandon Nielsen From the Army, look who's chasing him. It's Daryl Schaefer. It's Navy chasing Army. And look at SOCOM. Nolan Ellis out here, lane 7. Nielsen, Schaefer, Ellis. Talk to me, Brooke. Canada's Pierre Desrosiers is in. Well done, gentlemen. That is the third and final heat of our men's 6.0 class. 100-meter freestyle.
Hey, where did we go?
Where's the mayor? Okay.
Days when the rains came. Down in the hollow. Playing a new game. Laughing and a running. Hey, hey.
All right.
Skipping and a jumping.
All right.
In the misty morning fog with our hearts that
All right, hey
don't
folks, want to direct your attention over the left-hand scoreboard over here. Brooke, who do we have with us?
We're going to bring Mayor Creticus back in because I understand we have some very high-ranking officials here, and we're going to let you take over that introduction of them, okay?
Well, thank you, Brooke. I know you realize that it takes an awful lot of people to make an event like this happen. We've already recognized the athletes, and we've been cheering them on. But our staff, the volunteers, the family members, the coaches, all play a role in making sure that today's event and the week activities of the Warrior Games are very successful. But there are two gentlemen that need to be introduced, and it gives me an honor to be able to welcome to Clearwater retired General Tommy Thomas, who made sure that we brought the Warrior Games to Tampa Bay and the Tampa Bay area. General Thomas. General Thomas just retired as the commanding officer at SOCOM, and we wish him and his wife, Barb, all the best as they have relocated here to the Tampa Bay area permanently. General, thank you for your vision.
Thanks, George. Thanks for
Thank you. When General Thomas retired, he had to turn command over to somebody who made sure that the work that he had done would go on seamlessly, and that has happened. General Clark has taken over at SOCOM. We're so very proud of the work that he's done in the last, just 3 months, you know. So welcome to you and your family to the Tampa Bay area, to Clearwater, and thank you for bringing the Warrior Games here and hopefully bringing them back in a few years, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
General Thomas, General Clark, and thanks again to all of our volunteers and staff, and to you for supporting the Warrior Games and our athletes, our heroes. Thank you very much, Brooke, for allowing me to do that.
Thank you so much, Mayor. We are about to move to a break, but first, how about this? Give a round of applause for all of our athletes so far. Several records have gone down, and there are a few more. Give us an update, Brooke.
All right, so I do hold all the records that were broken for the 100-meter freestyles. I'm going to start it off with the women in the 5.5 lower class. You've heard these names already, and they continue to swim well, fatigued and tired. They're still going strong. Blanca Cruz, we had 2 go under the former record. Blanca Cruz of Air Force, 129.56, was under the old record of 140.27 set by Melissa Colts in 2017 of Navy. But the new record holder and I believe this may be her third record of the day, belongs to Marion Kelly of Canada.
Wow.
123.89, the new Warrior Games record for the 100-meter freestyle, 5.5 lower. Moving on to the men's 100-meter freestyle 2.0 classification. I said it at the race, 3 for 3 now. Can you look ahead and see if he's actually in the 50 breaststroke? Michael Nicholson, I'm gonna put him on the spot of Marine Corps. Locally from Tampa, lowered his own record from 2017, which was 2:05.13. Guys, today in this pool, 1:53.40. Like, crushed his own record. He's gone 3 for 3, 3 golds, 3 Warrior Games records. So guys, when he gets up for that 50 breaststroke here shortly, let's get behind him, because I know I want to see 4 for 4. So we're going to call him the Michael Phelps of the 2019 Warrior Games. Can he do it? I think so.
I think he can.
I'm not finished yet. We still have more records to recognize. In the men's 100-meter freestyle 4.0, former record was 131.10 by Charlie Walker of UK. The new record holder of Australia, Rye Shawcroft, 123.41.
Yes.
And the men, wow. 3 classes, new records in the men's 100-meter freestyle. This is for 5.5 under. 2 of our men went under the former record, which was 114.16, held by Steve Bortle of Army. Second place was Isaiah Stanley of SOCOM, 113.29. But your new Warrior Games record belongs to Tom Prater of Navy, 112.96. Awesome job to all of our athletes. Real quick before we go to the break, we've heard from Mayor Creticus. There's been a number of gentlemen within the city of Clearwater Parks and Recs. If you see him running around here, Mark Robertson, I'm gonna call you out, because Mark runs this facility day in and day out. I watch him work hard, every event, every swim meet, whether it's the Warrior Games, the Special Olympics, you name it. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you for the city of Clearwater for representing really the Tampa Bay area and hosting the Warrior Games here today. Congratulations to everybody. Let's take our break, get some music going, and we'll get ready for the last individual event, which is gonna be the 50-meter breaststroke.
All right, we're gonna invite everybody back to their seats. Hey, you up in the bleachers, how you feeling up there? Everybody doing okay? Anybody getting tired yet? No. We gotta be here for these athletes. They are the only ones allowed to be tired. It is time for the women's 50-meter breaststroke. And I believe our athletes are ready. Heat number 1. This is a medal heat, folks. Gold, silver, and bronze on the line. This is the women's 5.0 classification. Record for this event set in June of 2018 by none other than the Marine Corps Zone Tisha Knickerbocker at 59.88. And of course, you heard some cheers there, because why? She is racing today in this heat. We're gonna see what a year's difference holds for our record holder and the others in this heat as well. Once again, women's 5.0 classification. Want to introduce to you our swimmers in lane 1 from the Air Force, Kristen Morris. Lane 2, record holder from the Marine Corps, Tisha Knickerbocker. Lane 3, Annika here. No, scratch. Lane 4, from the Navy, Esther Stevenson. Lane 5, from SOCOM, Lauren Montoya. Lane 6, from Canada, Laura Lipsy. And in lane 7 from the Marine Corps, Beth Grauer. All right, Mr. Referee.
Yeah, look at 3.
And they're off. 50-meter breaststroke for the women 5.0 classification. And look at this shape up quickly. This is anybody's race. Look in lane 1, the Air Force's Kristen Morris. Slightly ahead of Lipsy, who's slightly ahead of Knickerbocker, the record holder. And it's all out to the finish. And it's Morris from the Air Force. Lipsy from Canada, and Knickerbocker from the Marine Corps. All athletes in. Congratulations. Well done, ladies. On to the women's 5.5 lower classification division. Calling our 5.5 lower classification to their start. Heat 1 of 2. Do we have Costanzo and Kelly? Costanzo and Kelly? No. Do we? Last call. Women's 5.5 lower classification, 50-meter breaststroke. Kaya Costanzo, Marion Kelly. Last call. All right, we move forward to heat number 2. Heat number 2, athletes to your lanes. Still in the 5.5 lower classification division. In lane number 1 from the Army, Cinnamon Wright. Lane number 2 from Australia, Narelle Mason. Lane number 3 from Australia, Bridget Baker. Lane 4 from the Army, Shirley Morales. Lane 5 from the Army, Tiffany Rodriguez Rexroad. Lane 6 from the UK, Lindsay Kelly. And lane 7 from the Air Force, Blanca Vaquero Cruz. All right, Mr. Referee.
Here's a towel right behind me. I don't know who it was. It was in my chair when I got
All right. This is a medal heat right here for the 5.5 lower classification. It's Mason from Australia, Morales from the Army, Rodriguez Rexroad from the Army, Kelly from the UK, and Vaquero Cruz from the Air Force. And look at Rodriguez Rexroad for the gold. Look at that for the silver, Vaquero Cruz, and for the bronze, Narelle Mason from Australia. Well done, ladies. Up next, we are still in the 50-meter breaststroke for the women. Two divisions represented in this heat. The 5.5 upper classification. And in that division, we will have the U.S. Army, or the Air Force, Michelle Prindle in lane 3. Army's Maya Gordon in lane 4. Army's Lynn Marie Mendoza in lane 5. The Air Force Heather Wright in lane 6. The second division represented is the women's 4.0 classification. And from the Navy, we have Raina Hockenberry. Mr. Referee. This is a medal heat for Prindle, Gordon, Mendoza, and Wright. Hockenberry pushing for a personal best as she will take the gold in the 4.0 classification. But right now, look at Prindle take the lead on the 50-meter breaststroke. Right in lane 6 in the number 2 spot. Tosh Mendoza in lane 5. Prindle takes the gold.
Jeff, in her time there, 57:43.
Wow. Heather Wright for the Air Force is in. Tosh Mendoza preliminarily takes the bronze, and here comes Raina Hockenberry. To claim yet another gold medal here at the Warrior Games. Hockenberry is in. All right, next heat, the women's 6.0 classification. 2 heats, this is the first of 2. Record set back in 2015 by Randy Gabel at 44.97 seconds. In lane 3 from the Air Force, Royanne Leeds. Lane 4 from Australia, Vanessa Brohill. Lane 5 from Australia, Amanda Scott. And lane 6 from the Air Force, Melissa Nueva. Mr. Referee. And they're off for the 50 breaststroke. Women's 6.0 classification. And look how close this is. All 3 separated by half a meter. What do you see, Brooke? I can't tell. Too close to call from here.
I'm seeing the same thing as they pass me again. We talked to Eric Wunderlich earlier this morning about just getting into that rhythm. Pull, kick, pull, kick. And these 2 girls looking to go 1-2 off for Australia. I want to say that maybe Vanessa has a small edge.
Oh, look at that.
1:00:01.
Look at that. Scott, followed by Brohill, then Nueva. All right, and we are on to heat number 2. Heat number 2, women's 6.0. In lane 1 from the Navy, Elizabeth Smith. And is that Houston? What? We've got some scratches. So we had Houston in 4 from the Army. In 5, the Navy's Lauren Gonzalez. In lane 6, the Air Force Lisa McCraney. Lane 7, SOCOM's Victoria Oldani. And in lane 8 from the Air Force, Lisa Goad. Mr. Referee. Smith in 1, Houston in 4, Gonzalez in 5, McCraney in 6, Goad in 8. And it's Houston versus McCraney, Army versus Air Force.
Houston has maybe a half a body length lead right now. This is going to be a close finish underneath the flag.
McCraney for the Air Force, followed by Houston from the Army. Come on, folks, make some noise. Here comes Goad from the Air Force in lane 8. Look at McCraney coming over to cheer on her teammate. Goad is in. Well done, all of our ladies. We now move on to the men. 50-meter breaststroke. Combined heat. We will have the men's 1.0. Army's own Joel Rodriguez in lane 4. We do not. He has scratched. Joel has not, or has scratched, so he will not be in lane 4. So, medal heat for the men's 2.0 classification.
You want that shot, it's probably easy.
In lane 6 from the Marine Corps, Michael Nicholson. And in lane 7 from the Army, Matt Lammers. Mr. Referee.
Right, but when I'm on low like this, it's blocked behind the arm, so the eyepiece closes it out. Do I have time to do that? I'll do it on the next one.
Nicholson starts from the block, Lammers from the water. 50-meter breaststroke for the men's 2.0 classification. How about this? Record for this set back in 2017 by Mr. Michael Nicholson at 122.83. So he's chasing his own record.
Let's get behind him to the finish. They've had a long day of competition, and we want to get them all the way home. This is the last individual event of the 2019 for these gentlemen. Nicholson chasing that record of 122.83 with about 7 meters to go. He's got 12 seconds and 10.
Oh my,
Let's get him into the finish.
This may be close.
Real close.
Oh. Not quite the record, but good enough for gold. That is Michael Nicholson of the Marine Corps. Come on, folks. Bring that energy. Here is Lammers from the Army. Unbelievable. Lammers is in. All right, that brings us to our men's 2.5 classification and our men's 3.0 classification. In lane 4, for our 2.5, representing SOCOM, it's George Vera. And in lane 6, 7, and 8 for the men's 3.0 classification. In 6, it's the Air Force, Garrett Kawada. In 7, it's the Marine Corps' Isaac Blunt. And in 8, it's the Navy's Anthony Deely. This is a medal round. Mr. Referee.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a foot. I wanted to get more of the faces and that's the top of the heads. If you want to do it, it's fine.
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm glad it works. My sister abandoned her. It was terrible. That's what I was telling Kenny this morning. She was devastated.
Quiet, please. Thank you. And they're off. Kawada, Blunt, Deely, racing for gold, silver, and bronze. SOCOM's Vera, swimming for a personal best. Kawada out in front, then it's Blunt. Deely in lane 8, trying to stay relaxed. This is the men's 50-meter breaststroke. Kawada from the Air Force in for the gold. Blunt from the Marine Corps takes the silver. Keep that noise up, folks. They need you. They're relying on you. Let's go, Deely. Let's go, Vera. Vera takes the gold in the men's 2.5. Deely is in for the Navy for the bronze. All right, up next, the men's 4.0 classification division, 50-meter breaststroke. It is head-to-head, SOCOM versus Australia. In lane 4 from SOCOM, Steve Carman. In lane 5 from Australia, record holder from earlier today, Rai Shawcroft from Australia. Mr. Referee. Oh, we have us a race here. Carman, Shawcroft. Carman in the silver, Shawcroft in the yellow.
Stroke for stroke as they go under the 25-meter mark. Carman starting to show a little bit of a lead.
Come on, folks, who are you cheering for? Make some noise. Somebody's gonna walk with the gold, the other the silver. Will it be Shawcroft? Will it be Carman? Carman looks to have the lead. Carman from SOCOM. Shawcroft for the silver. All right, up next is the men's 4.5 classification. This is a medal heat. Lane 2 from Australia, Nathan Parker. Lane 3 from Australia, Mark Daniels. Lane 4 from the U.S. Air Force, Seth Pena. Lane 5 from SOCOM, Brant Ireland. And lane 6 from the Marine Corps, Carlos Jimenez. Mr. Referee.
I like your shirt.
And they are off. Parker in 1, Daniels in 2, both from Australia. Pena from the Air Force in 3, and Jimenez from the Marine Corps in lane 6. It looks to be Australia, Marine Corps.
Parker took a quick look over his left shoulder just to see where he was, thinking that he secured this gold medal here for the 50-meter breaststroke. 45.87.
Wow. Parker is in. Daniels is in. Here comes Jimenez for the bronze. Come on, make some noise for Pena. Pena is in. All right, up next for the men, it's the 5.0 classification. 3 swimmers ready. In lane 2 from the Air Force, it's Byron Brightman. Lane 3 from the Army, Tim Baumke. And in lane 5 from the Air Force, David Snyder. This is a medal round. Mr. Referee. And they're off. It is Army versus Air Force. Brightman and Snyder from the Air Force, they're on the outside. Baumke from the Army on the inside. Baumke with the lead.
We've got a nice race set up over here in lane 2 and 3. Brian and Tim, Air Force, Army.
Brightman chasing, pushing hard, may have moved into the lead. It is close. Brightman and Baumke battling for the gold. Who will it be? Baumke.
55.39 is the unofficial top time there, followed by Brightman, 55.57. Very close race for those guys.
0.02 of a second. Great heat, gentlemen. Well done. All right, up next, the men's 5.5 lower classification division. 50-meter breaststroke. In lane 1, the Army's Jorge Rodriguez. Lane 2 from the Army, Jonathan Alexander. Lane 3 from the Army, Austin Harwick. And lane 4 from Canada, Lawrence Christensen. Lane 6 from the Air Force, Brian Bibiano. Lane 7 from Canada, Robert Gagnon. And lane 8 from SOCOM, Clay Pendergrass. Mr. Referee. And they're off. This is heat 1 of 2 for the men's 5.5 lower classification. And again, as we've seen throughout the day, it is lane 1 and 8. Lane 1, Rodriguez from the Army with an edge over 8. Pendergrass from SOCOM. Look at Rodriguez. Takes the top spot at 43.15. Pendergrass second in the heat. And then Alexander from the Army taking the third spot in that heat.
So that time to beat now, going into this second heat, Jeff, is 43.15 out of lane 1.
All right, here comes our second heat for the men's 5.5 lower classification. In lane 1 from Australia, Brendan Hardiman. Lane 2 from the Army, Shannon McClymans. Lane 3 from the Marine Corps, Mirari Hernandez. Lane 4 from the Navy, Dakota Hollingsworth. Lane 5 from Denmark, Paul Lang. Lane 6 from the Marine Corps, Dustin Kozar. Lane 7 from the Marine Corps, Stephen McKay. And lane 8 from Australia, Peter Brown. Mr. Referee. Here they go. This is heat number 2, men's 5.5 lower classification.
.43.15 is the time.
Look at McKay.
Very, very tight race. Towards the middle of the pool and on your far side.
It looks to be McKay and Lang from Denmark. Who's going to touch the wall first? Paul Lang from Denmark.
41.74.
Followed by Stephen McKay of the Marine Corps. Taking the third spot in that heat, Dustin Kozar. Well done, gentlemen. All right, just a quick announcement from our concessions. Our concessions is open for anyone. Anybody who would like to eat, it is on the house. They are located within the gym and they'll be serving food until 2:30. Up next, heat 1 of 2 of the men's 5.5 upper classification. In their lanes, representing SOCOM in lane 2, Philip Fong. In lane 4 from the Army, Cole McLeod. Lane 5 from the UK, John Willems. And in lane 6 from SOCOM, Isaiah Staley. Mr. Referee. Fantastic start. 4 swimmers. It's Fong, McLeod, Willems, and Staley. And so far, it is Staley out, but not far ahead of Fong. McLeod and Willems vying for that 3rd spot of the heat. And it's Staley from SOCOM taking the top spot, followed by Fong in lane 2 from SOCOM. And now on
42.58 is now the top seed as we go into heat 2. If that time does stand, that will put Isaiah Staley on your game's record of 42.95.
That's right. Could be a record. All right, on to heat number 2. Men's 5.5 upper classification. In lane 3 from Navy, Austin Cooper. Lane 4 from the Navy, Todd Prather. Lane 5 from the Navy, Daniel Clark. Lane 6 from the Army, David Espinoza. Lane 7 from the Marine Corps, Fernando Andandre. And lane 8 from the Marine Corps, Troy Fodel. Mr. Referee. And they are off. 42.58, the time to beat. If they want gold, they've got to break the record. And look at the Navy. 3, 4, and 5. Cooper, Prather, and Clark trying to close in on a bronze, gold, and silver sweep for the Navy. Can they do it? Lane 4, that's Prather.
41.26.
Prather, Clark, and Cooper. 1, 2, and 3 for the Navy in that heat. Come on, here's Espinoza. Let's hear it, folks. It's the Army coming up to the home stretch. 5 meters to go. Espinoza is in. What a show, Brooke. What do you think?
This is great, and here we go into the last 3 individual races before we head into the relays. I think we're gonna see some fast swimming in these 3 heats. Maybe one more opportunity for our meet record to go down. So fans, I know it's hot in here. I know it's been a long day, but this is where it really counts. This is where we need you to get into this and bring these athletes all the way home to the finish.
All right. Hey, folks, music down. Just need to make a quick announcement. So easy to get the deck crowded here. If you are not volunteer, official, or photographer, please clear the deck so the athletes and volunteers can do their thing here. Thank you. Now it's on to the men's 6.0 classification for the 50-meter breast. We have 3 heats. Heat number 1, lane number 1, Nick Kerr from Canada. Lane number 3 from the Air Force, Ricardo Rivera. Lane number 4 from Canada, Michael Briggs. Lane 5 from SOCOM, Joe Roberts. Lane 6 from the Air Force, Jason McCoy. And lane 7 from SOCOM, Brian Hotchkiss. Mr. Referee. And it's Kerr, Rivera, Briggs, Roberts, McCoy, and Hotchkiss. Look at the Air Force's Rivera with that early lead, but not far ahead of Nick Kerr from Canada. Fastest time here will set the bar for the next 2 heats.
Rivera is still holding on to about a body length lead as he heads in underneath the flags. This will be our top time going into the next 2 heats, 41:23.
And it's Rivera, followed by Kerr and then Roberts. Here comes Briggs, come from Canada. Let's hear it, folks. Briggs is in. All right, Brooke, time to beat was what?
41:23 by Rivera, U.S. Air Force.
That's the time to check for this heat number 2. In lane number 1 from the Marine Corps, Patrick O'Brien. Lane number 2 from Canada, Daniel Danduran. Lane number 4 from the Marine Corps, Edward Leary. Lane number 5 from the Navy, Aaron White. And lane number 8 from the Air Force, Josh Fain. Mr. Referee. O'Brien, Danduran, Leary, White, and Fain chasing Air Force. Lanes 1, 4, and 8.
O'Brien holding on to it.
Call.
Slight lead for O'Brien over here in lane 1. He's got a nice rhythm and staying smooth through the stroke. I don't think they're going to catch him. Can he get in under 41? Almost, 42.59.
Well done, O'Brien. Then it's Leary, followed by Fain for heat number 2. All right, our third and final heat for all individual categories for the 2019 Warrior Games swimming competition. Heat number 3 of the 6.0 classification for the men, 50-meter breaststroke. Lane 2 from the Air Force, Roger Hopkins. Lane 3 from SOCOM, Nolan Ellis. Lane 4 from Navy, Daryl Schaefer. Lane 5 from Navy, Jason Roberts. Lane 7 from Canada, Pierre Desrosiers. And lane 8 from the Air Force, it's the Huff, Lawrence Hufford. Mr. Referee. And they are off. Hopkins, Ellis, Schaefer, Roberts, Desrosiers, and Hufford. Look at Hopkins from the Air Force in lane 2. Not looking back, not slowing down.
He's running for the gold medal now. Can he beat Rivera's time from the first heat of 41.23? He's clearly won this heat, but now it's going to be what that clock says. 38.38.
Wow.
39.57.
Good enough for the gold. Well done, Hopkins. Then it was Ellis and Schaefer. Congratulations, well done, swimmers. That's it for the individual competition. Up next will be the relays. Stand by.
Okay, Jeff, let's go over what our spectators are going to see for these relays.
You got it, Brooke. So we've got 4 heats coming up.
Right, and we have 4 competitors in each relay.
Yes.
So that means our second and fourth athletes are going to be at the turn end of the pool, with our first and third at the start end of the pool, because they're each going to do a 50. So importance in these relays is the athlete coming into the wall, but also the athlete on the blocks, in the water, however that exchange is going to be. So you want a good, clean relay exchange so that we don't have an infraction or a DQ. Because the hardest thing as an athlete is to know that you left early on that exchange, DQing your team. So you want fast relay exchanges, but you want really good, clean, safe ones.
Absolutely. Energy will be high. the tendency will be to time it just right. So the athlete leaving leaves right when the incoming athlete touches the wall, not a millisecond before. We've got 4 heats, all are 200 meter. Each athlete will swim the length of the pool, 50 meters, tag the wall, the teammate goes.
No, just preview.
In the first,
I might do it when the athletes get up here.
it is the women's freestyle max 22-point relay. Looks like our timers are set, our officials, our starters are set. In lane 1, it's the Navy. Raina Hockenberry, Elizabeth Smith, Lauren Gonzalez, and Esther Stevenson. All right, in lane 2, it's Danielle Stevens, Caroline Buckle, Lindsay Kelly, and Heather Wright. Lane 3, it's the Army, Casey Turner, Shirley Morales, Angela Usin, Maya Gordon. Lane 4, Laura Lipsey, Frida Van Putten, Narelle Mason, Marion Kelly. Lane 5, U.S. Marine Corps, Beth Grauer, Tisha Knickerbocker, Annika Hustler, Sarah Bala. Lane 6, it's the Air Force, Michelle Prindle, Blanca Baquero Cruz, Kristen Morris, and Christina Coble. And lane 7, it's SOCOM, Rhonda Keister, Victoria Aldani, Letty Vega, and Lauren Montoya. Let's hear it, folks. 200-meter women's freestyle relay. Mr. Official.
Here's one. Who's up?
Quiet, quiet please, so the athletes can hear the starter. And they are off. Leg number 1, the first 50 meters of the women's 200-meter freestyle relay. And it's Army out in the lead. Right behind is Team War 1. That is Lipsey chasing Turner.
Casey Turner with that first exchange, 34.07 for that lead 50. We'll see some lead changes here. How did each team stack their relay?
Army chased and caught Narelle Mason. It is Team War 1 moving into the lead, just past Army. But look here in lane 6, it's the Air Force. They may finish the second leg Look at that. 1, 2, 3 go in the water for leg number 3.
Third leg of the relay, and we might see the third lead exchange with Air Force coming up here.
Look at this. It is Team War 1, Air Force,
three,
Army,
neck and
all
neck.
battling for first. This is a medal round.
Go to 3 now.
Home stretch. Lane 3, 4, and 6. Army, War 1, and Air Force. Too close to call. Air Force and War 1, stroke for stroke. Coming down to the last 8 meters.
The scoreboard for this one. The touch is going to be too close.
War 1. Lipsy, Mason, Van Putten, and Kelly. Wait, who was that? Talk to me, Brooke.
Australia with the touch first. The times up on the scoreboard are unofficial,
Gotcha.
so we'll have to wait for the official results to come out. Time. But Australia, there in the center of your pool, was your top finisher in the women's 200 freestyle, max 22 points. But what a race between all of these ladies. Army, Australia, Air Force with 3 different lead exchanges. And we've got a couple of our teams still coming in, so let's keep it loud. Let's make them finish all the way. 5 meters to go.
War 2, SOCOM. All swimmers in, y'all give it up for the women relay.
Okay,
Wow.
we can go off the unofficial times now that all the competitors have finished. We see lane 4, there Australia in a time of 2:45.02. Second place out of lane 5 was U.S. Marine Corps, 3 minutes, 1 second, 44. And third place in lane 3, Army 3:04.74. Congratulations, ladies. Awesome race.
Well done, swimmers. All right, as they exit, we will get ready for the next heat, the men's 200-meter freestyle relay. Athletes exit the water. All right, let's meet our relay teams for the men. In lane 2, it's the Marine Corps. Edward Leary, Stephen McKay, Carlos Jimenez, and Matt Hargrove. Lane 3, the Army. Brandon Nielsen, Jonathan Alexander, Tim Baumke, and Austin Harwick. Lane 4, it's Australia. Benjamin Morgan, Nathan Parker, Mark Daniels, Carlo Novak. Lane 5, it's the Navy. Daniel Clark, Austin Cooper, Todd Prather, and Dakota Hollingsworth. And lane 6, U.S. Air Force, Brent Campfield, Byron Brightman, William Royster, Larry Franklin. Let's hear it for our men's relay. 200-meter, max 22 points. Mr. Official. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. And they are off. This will be close.
Looks like Australia has the slight lead going into the first exchange. That's Morgan. 22:01. 29:01, excuse me.
Looks like Australia. Look how close. Lanes 2, 3, and 4. Marines, Army, and Australia. Australia by half a meter. Army and Marines, stroke for stroke. In comes Daniels for Australia. Bomke for the Army and McKay for the Marines. And look at that, Marines have jumped in the lead. It's McKay. Army in Australia trying to keep up with McKay. They cannot. On the final leg, here comes Hargrove for the Marines. Look at the separation that McKay got on the field.
Look at here, look at here.
Novak trying to catch Hargrove. Australia trying to catch the Marines. And they do it. Australia, Marines, and now it's the battle for third. Navy comes in to take the bronze. Come on, folks, we've got the Air Force right here. Come on, get the noise up. Come on, let's hear it. Here comes Franklin. Air Force is in. Round of applause for our men's Max 22 relay teams.
The times on the scoreboard are unofficial. Again, in relays, a lot of touching of the pads and excitement. So those times we know that Australia was the winning team that touched the wall first. We'll have to wait for those official times to come out.
All right, swimmers may exit. All right, so listen up, folks. You've been hearing us talk about the various classifications all day. We've seen athletes all the way from classification 1 all the way up to 6. If you're just joining us, the higher the classification, the higher physical functionality of the athlete. So in these first 2 relays that we just saw, 4 on each relay team, and they could have a maximum of 22 points between the 4 athletes and their classifications. Right? Everybody follow. Now, we are on to what's called the mixed 200-meter freestyle. Not mixed gender. This is mixed athlete classification. There is no max. So if the teams wanted all higher classifications, that's what this division is. No max, mixed 200-meter freestyle relay. In lane 1, it's Australia. Trent Forbes, Peter Brown, Vanessa Brohill, and Rye Shawcroft from Canada. Australia, excuse me. Lane 2 is Canada. Pierre Desrosiers, Robert Gagnon, Daniel Danduran, and Nick Kerr. In lane 3, it's the Navy. Jason Roberts, Josh Cook, Daryl Schaefer, Aaron White. In lane 4, team that's called War 3. There are more than one country or division represented on this team. So it's Paul Lang, Michael Briggs, Lawrence Hufford, and Cole McLeod. Lane 5 from the UK, Emma Templeton, John Willens, Ben McComb, and Gemma Kimball-Stevens. Lane 6, SOCOM, Isaiah Staley, Clay Pendergrass, Philip Fong, and Nolan Ellis. Lane 7, the Marine Corps, Kyle Stilling, Mirari Anderson, Troy Frodel, and Fernando Andandre. And lane 8, the Air Force, Ricardo Rivera, Joshua Fain, Shunte Gonzalez, and Roger Hopkins. Mr. Official, quiet please.
All right, clear me.
Folks, that is why we need silence. We need it to be as quiet as possible so the athletes can hear the starter.
I'm gonna stay here so we get some good crowd reaction.
And he is allowed a restart. Quiet, please. And they're off. Look at that. It's going to be close, certainly for this leg. Nobody out in front yet. The 25-meter mark. Look at SOCOM. That is Pendergrass trying to get separation for his teammates. They are halfway there. Wall is touched. In comes Fong. Look at that. Look how close second is. 3 teams going in within 2 seconds. It looked to be Canada. This is the home stretch. Nobody is gonna catch SOCOM.
2:16:65 is the Warriors record. Watch the clock, it's at 2 minutes. This is gonna be a new Warrior Games record.
For a Warrior Games unofficial record.
2:07:51. That's an unofficial time.
Look at this battle for third. Australia taking the second spot. Too close to call for third. In come the Marines. In come Ward 3. Round of applause for the freestyle mixed relay. Well done, swimmers. Swimmers exit the water.
So unofficial time there for SOCOM 2:07:51 is lower than the Warrior Games record that Navy set in 2017 of 2:16:65.
Unofficially, another record crushed here in 2019. What a show from SOCOM. Staley, Pendergrass, Fong, and Ellis. All right, our third and final event. It's the men's maximum 18-point classification relay. In lane 2, it's the Air Force. David Snyder, Lucas Purser, Jason McCoy, Garrett Kuwata. Lane 3, the Marines. Dustin Kozar, Isaac Blunt, Patrick O'Brien, Michael Nicholson. Lane 4, it's the Navy. Romulo Erdala, Austin Parker, Gabriel George, Anthony Deely. Lane 5, SOCOM, Steve Carmen, George Vera, Brian Hotchkiss, Brant Ireland. And in lane 6, it's the Army. Shannon McClymans, Jorge Rodriguez, Ross Allewine, and Matt Lammers. Let's hear it, folks. Make some noise. Our final swimming event, the 2019 Warrior Games. Mr. Referee. Quiet, quiet, please. Thank you. What a start from the U.S. Marines. And look out here in lane 6 at the Army with a quick lead.
Yes.
And it's the Army out first in lane 6. Not far, it's the Marine Corps. Jorge Rodriguez leading the pack. Not far behind, that's Isaac Blunt. The Army on their third leg of the swim. Ross Allewine about to hand off to Matt Lammers. But look there in lane number 3, the Marine Corps. Patrick O'Brien about to hand off to Michael Nicholson. Out goes Lammers. Out goes Nicholson. In third, it's the Air Force, Jason McCoy. Jason tags Garrett Kawada for the final stretch. Look over in lane 3. It's the U.S. Marines, Michael Nicholson, taking it home. 5 meters to go. And it's the Marines. And now look. Look at the U.S. Air Force moving into second. Kawada does it. Lammers pushing, but it's so calm. For third, Matt Lammers from the Army. And now,
coming in.
Gabriel George tagging Daly. And it is Anthony Daly taking it home for the Navy. Let's go, Daly!
There it is.
That away, Anthony. That away. Stay calm. Stay focused. You got this. Come on, Anthony. It's the U.S. Navy wrapping it up. Let's go, Dealey. This is the Warrior Games.
Michael Bay.
Amazing, well done. That is our final heat of the day. Nice job, Anthony. Well done, the Marine Corps. All right, we are finalizing results. It is 3:04. In approximately 15 minutes, we will begin the awards ceremony and medal ceremony for the 2019 Warrior Games swimming competition. Stand by.
We have a few announcements to make. We have a few more records. So in this 15 minutes, We're going to announce some important things on the breaststroke side, and then a few of our records that we still want to recognize for our athletes. Going into the 50-meter breaststroke, we have a few infractions or DQs we have to make an announcement for. Again, you have 30 minutes approximately if you need to question the official. Please make sure you see them if you have any questions. In the men's 50 breaststroke 3.0, Isaac Blunt of Marine Corps was DQ'd. 50-meter breaststroke men's 4.0, Stephen Karaman of SOCOM was DQ'd. 50-meter men's breaststroke 4.5, Seth Penna of Air Force was DQ'd. In the men's breaststroke 5.0, Brian Brightman of Air Force and Tim Bonke of Army were DQ'd. In the men's 50-meter breaststroke 5.5 lower, Robert Gagon of Canada was DQ'd. The men's 50-meter breaststroke 6.0, Lawrence Hufford of Air Force was DQ'd. In the women's 50-meter breaststroke 5.0, Maya Gordon of Army and Esther Stevenson was DQ'd. Men's 50-meter breaststroke 5.5 under, David Espozosa of Army was DQ'd. So again, you have 30 minutes from the time of the finish to question with the official or get more information about that. I do have a couple of records. So we want to end the competition with the announcement of our records. I'll start with the women's 50-meter breaststroke 5.0. We had 3 women under the former time of 59.88, held by Tisha Knickenbocker of U.S. Marine Corps. Tisha Knickenbocker was 3rd, lowered her own time at 53.63. Laura Lively of Canada finished in 2nd at 49.17. And Kristen Morris from the Air Force is our new Warrior Games record holder in the 50-meter breaststroke 5.0 and a time of 49.11. Congratulations, ladies. In our men's 50-meter breaststroke 5.5 under, we had 2 men under the former time of 42.95, held by Steve Bordle of 2018 from the Army. Isaiah Stanley, 49.58 of SOCOM, and Tom Prater of Navy is our new Warrior Games record holder, 51.26. One more record for the breaststroke, that's in the women's 5.5 lower. Marion Kelly of Canada holds the new meet record, 49.1. Former record, 53.98, broken last year by Carla Caladra of Army. And the final record that I have to announce goes to our mixed 200-meter freestyle relay with no max points. The former record was held by Navy in 2017 of 2:16.65. SOCOM's new record holder, 2:07.51. That relay, the leadoff, Isaiah Stanley. In 2nd was Clay Pendergrass. 3rd was Philip Fong. And our anchor in that relay was Nolan Ellis. Congratulations, gentlemen. I want to say it's been an honor to be here, to witness the competition, to see the athletes compete, to never give up, to always have hope. To our volunteers, to our officials, our meet referees, the production crew, City of Clearwater, lifeguards, Long Center. Thank you for an awesome competition today. We'll get ready for the awards and honor all of those that were here competing today.